I'm very, very impressed with this camera. I am not on hire from Fuji. I am not an employee of Fuji. My loyalty lies with my art. My loyalty lies with my profession. And while saying this 100%, I can say that I'm not being dishonest to my profession. There has been a kind of a relationship with Fuji for a long time. I was introduced to Fuji by somebody I respect, I love, and admire. And that was the first time I got to know that, oh, okay, they make lenses. That was Mr. Russell Carpenter. In fact, he gifted me a Fuji camera with the lens. I still have it with me. Now, recently, I was talking to Saurabh, who is with Fuji, and he said, we would like you to use this new camera, GFX 100, the second edition of it. We want to put it to test. And then spoke to my director, who is also my wife and partner in life, Lena. The idea in my head was, okay, there was a GFX 100. This is GFX 100 2. It's like evolving and becoming into something. That desire to strive for better. Then we came up with a script, both of us together, of belief or way of life, which was born in India from Buddhism. So it's very beautiful that Buddhism believes that nobody dies ever. Everybody is reborn, rebirth, 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 and we learned that. It's so beautiful, and what you're about to see is GFX 100 to GFX 102. Nobody dies. It's evolution. That's where we connected that. Okay, so the advantage with large format sensors is that you can use lenses which are much more tele in nature, so you get more cinematic quality, and you can focus more on the subject and not on the objects around. External lights on the project were a couple of tube lights, one very small light that we had for the exterior of the house. Very little small package it was that we used. We wanted to not use lights much really, and we used native lenses which were 23mm, 55mm, 120mm, and then all three zooms of Premista. We were using all three of them. And we used a third-party lens, which were PL mount lenses with G mount to PL mount adapter. The good news is that you're not bound to use lenses supplied by a particular company. You can use any damn lens you want that has PL mount. Benefits of using these native lenses: the one, they were developed for this large a sensor. It's a very, very large sensor. The camera is not cumbersome when used with these lenses. It takes away a lot of weight. These lenses also are designed in a fashion that they're not heavy. Though it has amazing optics, very beautiful glass, large sensor, large glasses. But yeah, very, very light in terms of weight, plus focus, tracking. All these things, they come into play when you're using these lenses. So if the weight is not a problem for you and you're good with heavy, you can go with what you want. But if you're looking for something light, something on the go, then yeah, that's the way to go with G-mount lenses. Getting those beautiful flare streaks, I don't know if I've experienced that with any other lens. It had a beautiful follow focus, automatic, but as you know, we want focus somewhere here, somewhere there. So at those times we used other lenses where we needed to pull focus and all that. But camera's inbuilt sensor follows the focus on its own once you put the tracking mark, and yeah, it did it beautifully. The camera is capable of 8K. Because of our own needs and requirements, we were using 5.8K. And camera gives you raw recording with external devices. But yeah, we used internal recording, which was ProRes. It stands tall completely. I have to say, I have screened it at screen size of PVR. I wanted to test the camera to be able to handle highlights and shadows at the same time within the same shot. Otherwise you can adjust things and you can handle things, But within the same shot, there's one shot which is on the gimbal, moving from left to right and then left and then right again. There was no light, not even a bounce, not even thermocol, nothing. And it was absolutely bright outside, and there was a kind of a tunnel the boy takes him through, which is absolutely dark. The way camera captured that, I'm very impressed. There are other companies which have developed similar beautiful cameras, but they are very big cameras. That's the only difference. You can achieve the same quality with very big cameras. This camera, being a tiny little camera, is able to achieve that. That's a big one. GFX 102 was used with Steadicam, gimbal, on or dolly. So everywhere where we used our traditional 35 cameras. We used it on all those devices. Only problem that we faced with Steadicam was the operator said, "So the camera is too light." I said, "I can't do anything about that." But thankfully, most of the times we were using Premista lenses on Steadicam with that camera. Then it kind of balanced, didn't become an issue. So I am not saying that this camera will replace the biggest of the cameras. No, it will not. But I'm happy to have this camera on my set all the time as my second unit camera, as my splinter unit camera, where I don't have to think I have to hire this, and I don't hire these cameras, buy them. The tiny size, it becomes a big advantage. It's not something that overpowers the environment. Sometimes you go into an environment, you want to capture things as they are naturally, and you end up losing all that natural environment because they see the camera, they see the crew, and they're like, "Oh, filmmakers are here. Okay, we have to act in a certain fashion." That won't happen with this. I'm really hopeful that we use the camera in that way. We were shooting in -16. Camera was fine. We were not fine. Camera was fine. Camera didn't have any issues. There are crazy kind of close-ups of the eyes. The detail there, oh my God, you have to see those details. It doesn't fall short of any other image that I have shot. GFX 102 can absolutely be used along with other cameras. Absolutely, it's not a compromise. It's rather beautiful, gives you a lot more liberty. You don't have to limit yourself. If you're hiring, being able to hire 5 cameras instead of 1. The production is not bothered if you ask for 1 more camera or 2 more cameras. I'm very, very impressed with this camera. I have not been this impressed with such a small camera ever in my life.
When Fuji approached Asim Bajaj and Asim and I had a conversation, Asim came up with a beautiful theme called Becoming. So that kind of became like the central part of where we wanted to go with this short film. This is something both Asim and I have been fascinated with. The whole choice making and the process of becoming a monk. And becoming just became like the correct theme to explore this story. And I think Ladakh and Buddhism itself is, the idea of reincarnation, life and death is so beautiful. And to me, in the current times, it was really interesting to give the camera an angle of spirituality because, the camera is something that catches the truth. The lens is something that catches the truth. So giving it an interpretation of spirituality and something that can look within and look into was the most fascinating thing. So, when the whole idea of having monasteries and the whole process of becoming a monk was explored, we did explore the idea of shooting in various places, Dharamshala, Spiti, Nepal, but the landscape of Ladakh, I don't think it's been explored enough. It's fascinating. And, every frame here has like so many multiple layers to it. The mountains here are unbelievable. And also having the contrast of snow and complete sand, which is visually stunning and which is what we try to incorporate in our film also. So it's been very challenging, but I think more rewarding. Every day we were bone chilled and shit tired, but heart and soul was super happy. So I don't think we've ever done such a quick pre-production for a film, which including casting, in a film which has no dialogue. I think the performance then becomes so much more important and needs to be so much more stronger. We found a cast that I cannot even imagine finding anyone better for any of the roles. And on camera, you will see that they have maturity beyond their years because they were magical. I think my favorite part of this shoot was the team. A team which just came together, and before we knew it, we were on set in these extremely challenging situations. But I don't know, we just like the bond of everybody filling up for everybody else. The Fuji team who I met for the first time, right here on the set, I feel like I've known them forever. It's just been very, very fluid and things have just happened. For me, whenever I do collaborate with Asim, who's my husband, it feeds in and out of our real relationship as husband and wife and our relationship on set. And I think we carry back and evolve in our relationship with that. I can say the same for technology as I can say for humanity, as I can say for spirituality, that we are all in the process of becoming. And if we acknowledge that, we will only get better and better.